Latinos TV, as you know, is a program that is producing shows about health, education, and entertainment. Today we have a very special guest with us. We have Jessica Wilson, who is the Executive Director for Lowell Telecommunications Corporation. As you know, Colores Latinos is part of the LTC productions, and today we are going to learn about if you have an idea or if you want to get involved with the community and have a tools to communicate with them through the local channels. Jessica is the person who is going to let us know how to get involved. So I'm just going to turn the microphone to Jessica. Jessica, welcome to Colores Latinos TV.
Thank you so much, Nancy. It's great to be here.
Yes, for me it's a very an honor to have you today because, as you know better about Colores Latinos, how we started, and it's a real pleasure to have you as a guest today, finally.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so proud, of everything that you've accomplished on this show and to have been able to see it from an idea that you had to coming into reality and being this production that you're doing on a regular basis that's seen by so many people, across Massachusetts and across the world. It's really a pleasure for me to be able to see somebody achieve that, and so I'm really grateful that you had me on today.
Thank you so much. Jessica, so we would like to start knowing about what is LTC, and if you can share with us what is LTC and how people can become member of LTC and the benefits that we can have as our members.
Absolutely. So LTC's mission is to make information and technology accessible to everyone, particularly people in the Lowell area. But anybody, whether or not they live in Lowell, can come and join LTC. We want to make sure that computers and internet are the basis for most modern commerce. So we want to make sure that people have access to that and can get the information they need. But in addition, we want people to be able to produce media and share that with their community, because we think, that is part of people's right to freedom of speech, is to be able to communicate in this way. And we think that it also helps people to empower themselves, to be able to have an idea, share it with the community, and speak about what they feel most passionate about. So anybody can come and join LTC. We have a yearly membership, and it starts, our lowest membership price are $20 for students and seniors. They go up from there. We offer packages for families, for nonprofit organizations, and for businesses. And once you join, everything is available to you in a do-it-yourself way. So you have access to studios, editing equipment, cameras, and our staff that are here. We train and teach people how to use them. So even if you've never touched a camera before, or you think you take the worst pictures in the world, we'll work with you and help you learn the ins and outs so that you can be really proud of the media that you produce.
Thank you. And how LTC started? Can you share with us about some history about LTC?
Sure.
And when you started as a director, if you see some changes since you started an LTC, Jessica?
Absolutely. So LTC was founded, I think, about 21 years ago. There were a group of people in the city that really wanted to start a public access center. And public access is available because there's a Federal Communications Act that said if cable companies are going to come into our communities and offer their services, they're actually using public ways to distribute cable, and so they have to give some of that back to us in the public to use for our own free speech. And so this group of people negotiated with Comcast Cable. Actually, it was a different cable company that was here at the time, but has eventually become Comcast, and got some of the starting revenues and some of the technology that we needed to go on the air. And we went on the air and opened our own media center in 1995. So it's almost 20 years ago. Will be 20 years next year. And started helping people produce television. And we were running 3 channels at that time. I think they were it was like 42, 43, and 44, something close to there. So today, I've been with LTC for over 2 years now. I came in 2011. We've kept that tradition alive. We've grown in a number of ways. So we have more members today than we had then. We definitely have more shows than we have then. And we have more space. So we're doing some things a little bit differently now. We still help people produce their shows. We have live shows every night of the week. But we also have an event space. So we're able to welcome people in that are not necessarily doing television production, but are communicating with their community and their city in different ways.
And when you say like events, for example, I know that sometimes we have some artistic events and presentations, or sometimes like workshops, right? So people are willing to use the space for that. And if, for example, we have an organization that is no member, how that works? just an example, if somebody is not a member of the LTC but want to present something in the space you have.
Absolutely. So in 2010, we renovated our space downstairs. So in addition to our media production space, our 2 TV studios and edit suites, we now have an art gallery, which is also doubles an event space, a computer classroom, and a lab downstairs. And in that gallery, we have a different artist on display every month here at LTC. And that's anyone in the community. Right now, we actually have art from the local public schools. So there's art that's created by kindergartners up through grade 8. It's pretty amazing to see. We also have, artists from the local community college and the university, and some adults that are working with. There are hundreds and hundreds of artists here in the Lowell community, so there's never a shortage of really creative stuff going on there. And that artist will usually present their artwork at a reception during their show. We also let people borrow the space that are members to do any kind of meeting or workshop there, and people can also rent the space. So we've had movie screenings. We have a screen and a projector and a full sound system. We can also do presentations. We have our annual meeting there, which is a dinner. Some folks have rented it to do a community breakfast and a presentation, or I think we had a local business that rented it out to do a workshop on some of the services that they offer. So anything that people need a space for, it seats anywhere between 60 to 80 folks in that space. We have AV capability, and just earlier this week we actually had a book talk about a book about Jack Kerouac. And because this week was Jack Kerouac week here in Lowell.
Okay. Well, it seems like LTC is not just getting involved as a tool of a communication tool, but also supporting community, to develop projects and to present, for example, resources to the community, and trying to unite the community as much as you can. Tell me, because we understand that Lowell is a very diverse town, and I'm very proud to be part of this community as a Latina. But I do know that in LTC we have beautiful and great shows in different languages. Could you just please mention some of them, like different communities and languages and shows, trying to do outreach for different communities?
Sure. So we have 3 channels that we operate out of LTC now, and LTC 95 is our global channel, and that has shows in all different languages and languages that are spoken here in Lowell. I think there's probably over 40 different languages spoken in Lowell. We don't offer shows in that many languages yet, but we have many shows in Khmer, which is the Cambodian language spoken by lots of folks that live in Lowell. And we actually have, I probably couldn't name every single show that we have, but there's some called Socially Engaged Buddhism. There's the Voice of Khmer Americans, the CKBM, which is the community of Khmer Buddhist monks, and Khmer Talk. And all of these are actually live shows that people can call in, and they share news about in the religious community, in the Khmer community, and even some news from back home in Cambodia that people can tune in and watch. We have 3 Spanish language shows. Colores Latinos is one, and then there are 2 others. Both are religious-based shows, El Reino and Hatora Yeshiva. And we also have Portuguese live show every Saturday called Voz do Atlântico, and he produces a show that's sort of a range of things that are happening today, and some archival footage from Portugal that airs every day of the week. So that's just a little bit, and then we actually import a show that's produced at another access center called Grecian Melodies, and that's in Greek, and it features music from the Greek tradition.
Beautiful, and I know that you have sung in for African community also.
Yes.
The African Hour. That is, I don't know if that's the name of the show.
Yes, that is the name of the show. That is produced by Fru Nikimbeng, and he's actually a board member here at LTC, and he's been a volunteer and a member for many years. And that show is in English, but he produces it about news about our community from the African point of view.
Wow. So as you can see, LTC is like a very rich space and place to be. And we definitely want to encourage not just Latinos, but everybody who's watching this program, that if we want to get involved, please, you just need to contact Jessica. You just want to stop by 246 Market Street in Lowell, and you're going to have all the information. The staff here is very friendly. I can't complain. I feel like a family when I come here. It's not just because about the equipment or the space that they can provide, but it's the quality of people that works in LTC. And I'm not the only one who said that, and we feel like a part of the family. You always have people smiling to you, people willing to help. And I think so then as a producer, that makes life easier to, to develop your show. And I just, I want to take this opportunity to thank you and LTC staff for supporting not just Colorado's Latinos TV, but open the door for other communities out there to produce and have a voice. And I just want to thank, and I want to go back to the questions I have about the classes. For example, when I remember when I come here for the first time, I do know how to interview people, but I don't know how to put together the show. So
Right.
I know that we have to receive some classes. So could you please talk more about those classes, Jessica, and if how much is the cost and what days do you provide those classes for
Sure.
members?
So we have a range of classes to produce if someone comes in and they have an idea for something they want to do, and some folks don't, so we'll kind of help them get there too. But say you have an idea, you want to produce a studio show, you'd like it to be once a month, and you want to know everything you need to know to make that happen. We'll start everybody with an orientation. We actually do that for free. We do it once a month. And we talk to people about all the rules that we have here and the policies and how things work so that you understand when you want to reserve something or you want to meet with somebody, how that happens. It's about an hour. And it's a great way for new members to get to meet each other too. Then we do, some folks want to do studio production, so we'll start you with a studio class, and we ask people to come in, hopefully with a group, or we give you the opportunity to meet other volunteers that might be able to work with you, because as you know, studio production can't be done alone.
Yes.
And so we teach that over 4 weeks. And all of our courses, with a few exceptions, for members are $25 each per course. So then once you do the studio class, some people go right from tape to putting it on the air, so they don't do any editing. If you want to, then we'll also get you in an editing class. That's about 3 sessions, and they meet in the evenings, and you'll learn all the basics of what we call non-linear editing. We use a program called Final Cut Pro, and we teach people how to bring the footage in, analyze what you have, cut it up, and edit to a script. Hopefully that's what you're doing. You're not editing lots of footage that you're not sure what you got. But that's another way of doing it, certainly. You might get some more artistic things coming out of that. And then folks might want to do what we call field production. That means taking a camera, going out somewhere in the world and filming a story there. So you'll take a field production class. That's 2 nights. And you'll learn the first night all about basic cinematography, how to work the camera, how to set it up and take it apart. And then the second night, you actually take your footage and you'll learn really basic editing on Final Cut Pro. So when you leave that 2-night class, you've shot and edited a 30-second piece. Those are our main video production classes. We also offer workshops in photo editing using Photoshop, audio production using a program called GarageBand. We have 2 classes in web design. So one is about basic blogging, and we use WordPress to teach people how to do that, because WordPress, you can use a free tool to design a blog on WordPress. And then the second one is intensive web design. So that course is a little bit longer. That one, WordPress, you can learn in 1 sitting. The intensive web design is 3 classes, and that one's a little bit more. It's $50 for a member, $75 for a non-member. But you'll learn HTML design. So you can work in any platform, whether it's Creative Expressions or WordPress or Drupal or whatever, some I don't even know the names of, and design your own website from scratch using HTML as a tool. And it's a great class. It's a really interesting skill.
And I remember then almost all classes are evening times, and sometimes you have some weekends, right? Like some Saturdays?
Right. So most classes are going to be Monday through Thursday nights. They'll meet from 6 to 9. And if there are more than 1 class, it'll meet 2 weeks in a row, so 2 Tuesdays in a row. We change them up every quarter. So right now, our next schedule is coming out for the month of April in 2014. But every quarter we have a new schedule out. And then the 1-day workshops, sometimes they'll meet on a Saturday. So like Photoshop or a GarageBand or something like that.
Sounds like you're pretty busy all the time.
We like to have a lot going on. And it's funny because you know, it's a really big center. We have 2 floors, lots of rooms, and if people are here producing media in all of the rooms, it can still be pretty quiet,
right.
which is funny, because, and we've heard that before, but when people come in, they're here to work and they're working on projects, so they'll be sitting at computers with headphones or meeting in rooms. So we like that kind of buzz going on in all the rooms. When we have an event in our gallery space, that's when things get really loud, because people are talking and meeting and mingling and eating and watching movies. So that's a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting. But it is great to have, I think, the space to spread out and meet so many different people's needs. In the past, before we did our renovation, we were cramped into a much smaller space. So the room where we're sitting right now actually was our meeting room. So if somebody was doing if somebody was doing a TV show, you had to wait till they were done to do your meeting. So now we have options, and that's really nice because we can serve a lot more people in the space.
I think that we have in Lowell, we have to be very proud because it seems to me that we have one of the best studios and one of the best local TV stations. I have the opportunities to travel to different areas, and you know, thanks to the support from LTC, we learn how to communicate with other TV stations. And but this one is one of the best, I believe, and I'm sure then there is good ones, but this is the best, at least for me. How about the classes? You said then the classes sometimes, of course, are in English, but do you provide different languages, the classes in different languages? And are you thinking to do something in Spanish? I can help.
I would love, actually, I would love that, and I would love if you could help. So we have done classes in Spanish and Khmer in the past, and it's really been dependent on if we get a request for it or if we happen to have a staff member who is, you know, competent in that skill and also speaks that language. So right now, almost all of our classes are offered in English, and we do a basic editing and camera classes in Khmer. Would love to offer them in Spanish. We actually had a group come in there starting a new studio production, and it's a Latino church, and half the members, well, I think most of the folks that are taking the class speak English, but a lot of members of the church would prefer to take it in Spanish. So that's something I would love to explore, and, you know, meeting people that are competent in the skill and like teaching to be able to offer those classes, because we really want to be responsive to what the community's needs are.
Exactly, and especially as we mentioned earlier, then Lowell is one of the most diverse town that we have in Massachusetts. You mentioned earlier, then we have sometimes like maybe more than 40 languages in the area. So it seems that yes, you know, as you said, then you want to be responsible to be able to provide tools to the community. I think then will be nice and a great project if we can provide the classes in different languages. How about the festivals? I know that you also cover festivals in Lowell.
Yes.
You want to talk about
Sure. So that
and people can volunteer for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Jessica. So people can volunteer and learn the skills about camera and that kind of stuff. So this is a great opportunity, right?
That's what we spend most of our summer doing, is actually going out and recording these different events. So the biggest one by far is the Folk Festival. That is a 3-day event, and it's right here in downtown Lowell. We actually have music happening right outside our studio downtown, so it's great and it's easy. Over that weekend, we'll have about 100 people that come in and volunteer with us to produce. We do 3 live shoots 3 days in a row. So we start on Friday night, and we partner with LET, which is channel 22 here in Lowell. That's the education channel run out of Lowell High School. And Chelmsford Telemedia, which is the public access station in Chelmsford. And so Chelmsford helps us do the Friday night coverage. We have people that come in, and we have cameras at 3 different stages downtown. We have folks in this studio that are announcing what it is you're seeing. We get to talk to, like, we bring in different people and do interviews throughout the weekend. And then we have teams that go out and do ENG, which is electronic news gathering. So, and I know you've participated in that for several years. They go out, get a story, come back, edit it, and have it on the air either the same day or next day, which is a lot of fun because we usually don't do production that rapidly. So it is exciting to see so many people that come in and get some really good interviews and really good stories. The other 2 that we've done traditionally are the African Festival, which is in June,
Yes, in June, yes.
and the Southeast Asian Water Festival in August. And those are one-day productions. They're out at the Sampus Pavilion near the Merrimack River. So we partner with LAT Channel 22. We're using their production truck. We're out there in the field, and we capture everything that's going on stage, so lots of music and dance performances. And then we'll usually have a tent over to the side where we have an announcer doing interviews and talking to people throughout the day. We really like to get a flavor for who's there, why they're there. If there's some nonprofit organizations, what are they promoting? Folks from the African community talking about, the significance of the African festival, or folks from the Southeast Asian community talking about, how this festival brings people together. So those are lots of fun, really interesting. And we'll probably have anywhere from a dozen to 25 volunteers on each of those. And those we work with the organization that does the festival. And it's actually contracted work that we do for those two. And we have also started offering something new this year, where any organization or business, if they have an event like that and they want us to come cover it, we have a set price. They can give us a call at LTC, and we'll talk to them about recording their event. So it's something they can air on
And this
LTC.
is something new. This is a new program that you have. That's great.
Absolutely. And then they have something for their archives they can share with people and look at in the future and see. I think it's interesting, especially for people that do an event every year, to see how much they grow and change over time.
Exactly. And for example, what new projects do you have in mind as an executive director of LTC? Like, what is the future of LTC? How you see LTC from here in, let's say, in 2 or 5 years, Jessica?
It is a pretty amazing thing to think about. I actually just got my hands on our very first newsletter that LTC did in 1995. And the front page article of that newsletter, and I'm actually going to post this on our website, was "The Internet is coming to Lowell." And it was all about this amazing thing, the Internet, and that not a lot of people knew about or how to use it. And they were coming here to learn that skill. So I thought about that, and I thought about, just that many years ago, how different was our world, where people weren't using email at work yet. They didn't have computers at home yet that were accessing the Internet necessarily. And that we were part of getting people ready for what the world is today. So I think about what can we do to get people ready for the world that is to come, and we're all communicating in such different ways, and it's so important that I think, working with young people, really getting up to speed on new technologies that come out, those are all really important things for LTC to do. I think people still watch television, definitely, but they're watching it in really different ways and new ways. So that's something that we're working on really hard, is how can we get our programming out there so people can watch it on the go, in the world, on their phone, anywhere. And also, I think really being more aggressive about going after the talent that's in our community. So one of the things we were talking about doing, just in the coming year, is doing some more contests, for people, and saying we'd really like a production about the music scene in Lowell. So we're going to offer cash prize to somebody who writes us the best proposal and then gives us a show about that. And so I think, that way we can have this really great diverse programming and keep bringing that to people. Because, as you know, you can go online and see just about, you search anything, and you'll find it. But what I want us to be in the future is the place where if you want to know about Lowell, this is where you come. And if you want to see who the people are that live in this community and what they believe in, this is where you're going to look. You don't have to look any farther than LTC. I
just want to add about the when people access to internet and find anything, I just want to add something like, for example, I was trying, Colores Latinos was trying to spread the word different areas. And I found in some areas, even though, believe it or not, in Massachusetts, they are not allowed to, share information if there is no from the town.
Right.
And I learned in other areas, for example, right now we are in Lynn, Worcester, Newton, and Lawrence, etc. Then there is some other, of course, areas, and they are willing to open the space and to spread the word for different programs like this and many other programs, like you said, and sometimes you share with other TV stations. Mm-hmm. And I think that we are very lucky to be here in Lowell and to be part of LTC, because I can see that you, as you mentioned earlier, that you have import programs from different stations to, to spread the word. And so I just want to add that, and we are very lucky that this station is able to support productions even from outside of the United States, because I know that some producers bring programs from different areas in Asia, Latin America, Europe, to produce this here and to show that to people here. So I think that we are very lucky to have LTC and to spread the word. I just would like to ask you if you can give a message to encourage our communities to get involved and to be part of LTC, or even though part of different programs out there, to do outreach and to share resources and other good ideas than perhaps we have here for our community in Lowell and around Lowell also.
It's a big message, and I think it's something that people will see in their own lives and work days every day. Is, we're expected. It's not just a fun thing to do, but it's an expectation that we're going to communicate with people in a way that's most accessible and interesting to them. And for a lot of folks, that's going to be online, it's going to be video, it's going to be media somehow.
Exactly.
So I think as someone with a message, and I really honestly believe everybody has a story, and whether or not you want to tell it, there's a lot of value in you telling it to the community, because you may have discovered something about yourself or about the world that changed your life, and if you share it with other people, it's going to change theirs too. And so that's what I'm inviting people to say. First, like we figure out what that story is for you, and then we're going to get it out there, because that's the stuff that's going to change our community for the better and help us grow and become, the next generation of awesome Lowell or awesome wherever you end up being. So that's the message that I'd like people to have. Is some folks come in, they're really intimidated by the technology, they get in front of a camera, they don't know what to say, but it really does come from within you. And I think once you can share that with folks in whatever way is most comfortable for you, maybe you're going to sit in the edit studio and do podcasts because you don't want to be on camera, and you know what, that's fine.
Exactly.
That's a great way to get started, and people love those, and it's really fun and it's easy to share. But it's an expectation, I think, in this day and age, and it will become more so as we go forward, that if you want to communicate in the world, you're going to have to know how to use media, and you're going to have to be able to be really savvy, and you're going to have to be interesting. And so I encourage people to come and learn, start, boning up on those skills, and get out there, because what you have to say can only make the world better. It can only make it richer.
I agree. Jessica, last thing, where we can contact you, or where people can find more information about LTC, a website and a phone number, please?
Absolutely.
We can share? Yes.
So the easiest place to find us is online. Our website is super easy to remember. It's only 6 letters, ltc.org. Really simple. If you're in the neighborhood, we're at 246 Market Street. You can come in any day during the week. We're open from 10 in the morning until 9:30 at night. Until 6 on Fridays, and we're even here on Saturdays, 10 to 2. And that's 246 Market Street in downtown Lowell, right across from the Athenian Corner restaurant. You can also give us a call at 978-458-5400.
Jessica, it was a pleasure to have you here in Colores Latinos TV.
Thank you so much, Nancy, and I look forward to seeing you and hopefully some of your viewers here at LTC soon.
I hope so too. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
So again, you're watching Colores Latinos TV, and if you want to follow up, you can follow us on YouTube and Colores Latinos TV. Also, you can find us on Facebook, Colores Latinos TV show. And if you want to participate, write, or have any questions or suggestions, you can contact us through coloreslatinostv@yahoo.com. Thank you so much. Bienvenidos a Colores Latinos TV. Colores Latinos TV, como ustedes saben, es un programa diseñado exclusivamente para los hispanos. Hoy estamos haciendo un reportaje muy especial. Nos encontramos en la ciudad de Antigua Guatemala, en Guatemala. Hemos decidido hacer un reportaje especialmente para los hermanos hispanos que se encuentran en el área de Boston y New England, y a nivel internacional, porque Colores Latinos TV es sintonizado a nivel internacional gracias al canal de YouTube. Y hoy estamos visitando a la Antigua Guatemala. vamos a hacer un reportaje especial sobre lo que son alfombras, que son las alfombras más bellas del mundo en respecto a Semana Santa. Vamos a aprender sobre la elaboración de estas alfombras, las tradiciones, los colores, cómo se hacen y muchas cosas más. También en este reportaje especial vamos a visitar algunas iglesias porque les queremos llevar a ustedes la cultura guatemalteca en aspecto de religión. ¿Qué significan las procesiones? ¿Qué significa el ser cucurucho? Y otras cosas más. Es muy especial para mí este reportaje, ya que soy guatemalteca y tengo una emoción muy especial por este reportaje. En nuestro primer segmento vamos a trabajar sobre lo que son las alfombras de la Semana Santa. Como ustedes bien saben, estas alfombras estamos en el número 1 a nivel mundial de las mejores por colores, diseños, etcétera. Para ello tenemos un invitado especial, Jaime Rodríguez, propietario de Modelos Antigua en Antigua Guatemala, quien nos va a explicar sobre las tradiciones de alfombras y su elaboración. Jaime, bienvenido a Colores Latinos. Estoy muy emocionada de estar acá con ustedes visitándolos y pues quisiera agradecer su tiempo y que nos explicara un poquito más sobre qué son las alfombras en la época de Semana Santa en Guatemala.
Bueno, muy buenos días y muy alegre porque ustedes estén aquí en Guatemala, nos estén visitando y para poderles nosotros decir qué son las alfombras en Antigua Guatemala y lo que es Guatemala. Pues esto es una tradición muy grande aquí en Guatemala, que gracias a Dios toda Guatemala hace lo que son las alfombras en diferentes lugares del país, para rendir un tributo a nuestro Señor Jesucristo. Y además de eso, aquí en Antigua Guatemala pues tenemos las mejores alfombras del mundo. Y el día, desde que inicia la cuaresma, todos los feligreses en las calles de Antigua adornan estos tapetes que son multicolores y con el fervor hacia nuestro Señor pues hacen todas estas alfombras.
Excelente. Jaime, nos gustaría que usted nos explicara un poco más cómo inicia en su familia la tradición de hacer alfombras acá en la Antigua.
Pues hace 40 años mi mamá inició aquí con el frente de la casa para el día Jueves Santo haciendo una alfombra mezclada entre acerrín y flores. Poco a poco fuimos nosotros introduciendo como miembros de la familia, participando en hacer la alfombra y la fuimos cambiando como año con año y hasta la fecha que estamos haciendo una alfombra aproximadamente de 30 metros de largo por 3 metros de ancho con un tiempo aproximadamente de 10 horas para elaborarla. La iniciamos Jueves Santo a las 9 de la noche y terminamos Viernes Santo tipo 9 de la mañana.
Qué interesante, imagínense una alfombra de 30 metros de largo por 3 de ancho. ¿Cuántas horas me dijo?
Son aproximadamente 10 horas.
10 horas. ¿Y cuánta gente participa?
Pues vienen amigos con nosotros a ayudarnos y todos los miembros de la familia, y somos alrededor de 15 personas.
Excelente. Cuéntenos un poco más sobre los moldes, porque el negocio que ustedes tienen acá en la Antigua Guatemala es sobre los moldes. ¿Cómo se nace esa necesidad de crear moldes? ¿Será que anteriormente solo hacíamos la alfombra de una forma creativa sin moldes y después fue necesario tener moldes? ¿O cómo sucedió eso?
Bueno, nosotros tradicionalmente elaboramos nuestros propios moldes aquí en la casa para la alfombra que se hace siempre los días Jueves Santo. Aquí en el barrio existía un señor que se dedicaba a la venta de estos moldes, pero como en el año 83 falleció. Y entonces la mamá de él, como sabía que nosotros elaborábamos moldes, vino a decirnos que hiciéramos moldes para que pudiéramos atender a la gente con la necesidad de sus moldes y mantener siempre esa tradición. Entonces, desde el año 83 empezamos a elaborar poco a poco moldes para todos los feligreses que venían a buscar aquí sus moldes, y hasta la fecha del día de hoy pues ha crecido la demanda de estos moldes, porque como le cuento, gracias a Dios todas estas costumbres se están manteniendo y cada día son más grandes nuestras tradiciones.
Interesante y qué alegre. Cuéntenos un poco más sobre los temas de los moldes. ¿Hay algún tema en especial? ¿Año con año cambian los temas? ¿Cómo va funcionando y cómo va cambiando y evolucionando eso?
Los moldes se hacen de diferente forma porque, por ejemplo, hay personas que les gusta hacer con temas religiosos. Entonces, por ejemplo, tenemos nazarenos, tenemos rostros, tenemos señores sepultados, piedades, muchas imágenes. Y por ejemplo, hay personas que les gusta hacer sus alfombras para hacer ver la naturaleza, entonces nos piden aves, nos piden varios tipos de animales, ¿verdad? Para poner. Otras personas les gustan solo flores, entonces hacen la alfombra solo con flores y muchos solo puramente decorados, ¿verdad? Es según el gusto de la persona como se elabora la alfombra, ¿verdad?
Excelente. Este año estamos acá celebrando, pues conmemorando y siendo devotos en Semana Santa de abril 2014. ¿Y ustedes van a tener algún tema en especial este año?
Fíjese que nosotros, por ejemplo, este año queremos trabajar en base para lo que es la fauna y flora, ¿va? Entonces, por ejemplo, queremos hacer un mensaje de lo que es, queremos trabajar la mariposa monarca queremos hacerla ver lo bonito que es, ¿va? Y el santuario que se mantiene de ese tipo de mariposa. Entonces eso es lo que queremos reflejar en la alfombra de nosotros, y como siempre hemos plasmado un paisaje, una calle específicamente de aquí de Antigua Guatemala. Entonces, por ejemplo, hoy vamos a trabajar la calle que está cerca de Capuchinas, de las ruinas de Capuchina. Pues eso es lo que queremos plasmar este año en la alfombra.
Qué interesante. Cuéntenos un poco más sobre los moldes, ¿cuánto tiempo les lleva? ¿Tienen alguna dimensión, alguna medida específica o esto puede variar?
El molde puede variar según la necesidad de las personas, pero el estándar que nosotros tenemos aquí es de un pliego de cartón piedra. Entonces este pliego está de 1 metro de alto por 75 centímetros de ancho. Ese es el estándar y es el que la mayoría de nosotros trabajamos porque es el que más necesita las personas, porque hay veces que las calles son muy angostas, entonces no pueden extender un molde muy ancho, ¿verdad? Pero sí hay personas que necesitan un molde, por ejemplo, de unos 50 o 2 metros de ancho por 2 metros de largo. Es la dimensión, digamos, según la necesidad del molde, ¿verdad? Que por ejemplo, le trabajamos a varias personas, la persona que trabaja la alfombra de la velación de San Felipe de Jesús, que es el sábado, le trabajamos sus moldes, ¿verdad? Entonces él sí trae unas medidas específicas porque le hacemos casi, sus moldes son de 2,5 metros de largo, va variando por unos 50 de ancho, 2 de ancho, según la necesidad que él tenga. Entonces así trabajamos el molde, pero es a gusto de la persona, ¿verdad?
Excelente. Ahora nos gustaría aprender un poco más sobre la elaboración de las alfombras. Por ejemplo, usted nos estaba mencionando que usan pues los temas religiosos, temas de fauna. Los elementos de las alfombras, ¿qué elementos usamos para hacer alfombras?
Bueno, para hacer una alfombra es necesario contar con el serrín, ¿verdad? Que es el que nosotros lo conseguimos en los aserraderos, que es el desecho de la sierra. Entonces, el elemento principal es el serrín de pino o de ciprés, que es el que nos va a servir para que los colores queden bien vivos. Necesitamos los moldes para plasmar la figura que nosotros necesitemos hacer. Se necesita la añelina para teñir el serrín, ¿verdad? Entonces hay variedad de colores. Hay personas que tiñen hasta 12 o 14 colores porque quieren hacer la mezcla así bien grande, ¿verdad? Pero lo esencial es con 6 colores, sabiéndolos matizar, ya se hace una alfombra preciosa con diferentes colores. Y se necesitan un cernidor para poder, ya teniendo el color teñido, se va cirniendo para que vaya quedando así bien aplicado en el suelo el serrín, parejito, ¿verdad? Digamos, y entonces ahí ya se pone encima el molde y ya se empieza a llenar los diferentes espacios con los colores que uno vaya a requerir.
Cuando usted habla de colores básicos, ¿cuáles son esos 6 colores básicos?
Por ejemplo, el amarillo, el rojo, verde, azul, el morado y el fucsia. Son los colores elementales para hacer una alfombra, que queden bien, los colores bien lindos, ¿verdad? Bien mezclados.
Okay, entonces vamos a recapitular. Pues obviamente hay diferentes temas, la elaboración de diferentes medidas dependiendo de lo que el cliente, ¿verdad? La necesidad tenga. Y los elementos, ¿qué hay de las flores y frutas y verduras que a veces la gente también implementa en las alfombras como para adorno? Jaime.
Digamos, aquí en la tradición de la Antigua Guatemala hay también personas que quieren rendir ese tributo, pero lo hacen a través de alfombras que lo hacen con frutas. Estas frutas las trabajan ellos, digamos, partiéndolas a la mitad y con eso arman figuras para poder plasmar también ahí su figura, pero a través de frutas y flores, las van mezclando, ¿verdad? Y les quedan muy bonitas, ¿verdad? Pero sí, esto sí ya es específicamente, son, ¿qué le dijera? Unas 10, 12 alfombras así en este tipo, aquí en la Antigua.
Excelente. ¿Cuántas, de lo que usted tenga idea, cuántas alfombras aproximadamente se hacen en la Antigua Guatemala para Semana Santa? Si tiene algún estimado.
Mire, alrededor, un estimado son más de 1000 alfombras aquí en la Antigua Guatemala.
¿Y en la capital?
En la capital, ahí es más grande, yo pienso que son unas 1200 alfombras, porque ahí hacen unas alfombras larguísimas, ¿verdad? Son bien grandes, pero digamos, el tipo de trabajo sí es diferente a lo que es Guatemala con la Antigua, ¿va? Que aquí, como la alfombra es... por ejemplo, se hacen de 30 metros, 35, entonces sí se aplican, por ejemplo, técnicas en hacer bien talladas las alfombras, ¿verdad? Mientras que en la capital, como las hacen bien largas, digamos, ya no les da tiempo, entonces no están tan talladas, ¿sí? Ajá, correcto.
Excelente. Por ejemplo, usted dice que tiene tradición de hacer esta alfombra frente a su casa. ¿Por cuántos años es esto, Jaime?
Como le comentaba al inicio, son como 40 años desde que mi madre inició esta tradición, ¿verdad?
Excelente. ¿Y cuál es el sentimiento, así como ustedes devotos, cuál es el sentimiento y qué significa realmente para ustedes elaborar estas alfombras y que la procesión pase sobre ella? ¿Qué es el anhelo tan esperado de este trabajo tan elaborado para que la procesión pase sobre ella y en cuestiones de segundos la alfombra desaparece?
Sí. Mire, para nosotros es un tributo a nuestro Señor, ¿verdad? Por un año más que nos da de vida, de satisfacción, trabajo, que nos brinda sus bendiciones y todo. Entonces, nosotros en una forma de tributo hacemos esto de plasmar en la calle una alfombra. Como dice usted, en segundos se queda deshecha esta alfombra, ¿verdad? Pero le queda a uno la satisfacción de haber hecho este tributo a nuestro Señor y que nos regale otro año más de vida y podamos estar el siguiente año esperándolo con ansias para poder plasmar otra alfombra, ¿verdad?, para nuestro Señor.
Excelente. Por ejemplo, cuando usted estaba hablando sobre los temas, usted mencionó que este año vamos a tener lo que es la mariposa monarca, que es muy famosa, especialmente acá en el área de Guatemala, y creo que también somos uno de los países que más mariposas monarcas tenemos a nivel latinoamericano, si no estoy mal. ¿Por qué escogieron ese tema este año y qué otros temas han escogido anteriormente que nos pueda mencionar algunos?
Sí, fíjese que otros años, por ejemplo, quisimos realzar, digamos, lo que era, por ejemplo, Guatemala. Entonces trabajamos, hicimos tical, hicimos el quetzal, trabajamos con el quetzal, por ejemplo, pero matizamos un cuadro así grande donde pusimos el gran jaguar, el quetzal a un costado y teníamos la monja blanca al pie. Entonces, ahí, por ejemplo, queríamos nuestro nacionalismo, ¿verdad? Sí, muy bonito. Por ejemplo, otro año trabajamos el sacrificio maya, que cuando fue esto del Bactún, nosotros trabajamos el cuadro del sacrificio maya, pero fue muy bonito y toda la gente les gustó, ¿verdad? Porque estaba relacionado con el año del Bactún. Y otros años hemos trabajado también así, por ejemplo, con flores, hemos dedicado así que solo lo que es flores. Otro año hemos trabajado típicos, hemos hecho, o sea, nos ha gustado variar la alfombra, ¿verdad? Por el sentido de que se le dé un cambio y no hacer lo mismo cada año, ¿verdad?
Sí, que no sea tan repetitivo, que sea algo exclusivo, ¿verdad?
Exclusivamente. Por ejemplo, hemos tenido también nosotros la posibilidad de que nos han llevado a trabajar alfombras. Aquí acostumbran a hacer una velación los viernes en Cuaresma y trabajamos la alfombra de San Bartolomé Becerra, 17 años, una alfombra aproximadamente que tenía más o menos como en metros cuadrados, trabajábamos, tenía como 14 metros estaba casi cuadrada, 14 por 14, pero ahí sí trabajábamos el día jueves de 8 de la mañana y terminábamos el día viernes como a eso de las 3 de la mañana, pero así ahí lo que plasmábamos era un pasaje bíblico, ¿verdad? Entonces, como la visita de las personas es bastante, entonces lo que nosotros tratábamos es de que quedara un mensaje para evangelizar, ¿verdad?
Ahora que usted habla de personas que visitan, ¿ustedes tienen una idea, algún estimado de cuántas personas visitan la Antigua Guatemala o Guatemala simplemente por el hecho de Semana Santa y admirar las alfombras que son las más bellas del mundo?
Sí, fíjese que, ¿cómo le podría decir? Son miles de personas que sí es difícil para cuantificar porque, ¿qué le podría decir yo? 10,000, 15,000 personas, ¿verdad? Porque si se da cuenta, la entrada a la Antigua no se puede, pero ni entrar, pues porque las colas son inmensas para venir a ver esto de las alfombras, que aquí tradicionalmente, en donde nosotros vivimos, es la calle ancha, que es famosa por sus alfombras, ¿verdad?
Excelente. Por ejemplo, ya como para finalizar, como ustedes bien saben, siempre se nos queda corto el tiempo con entrevistas tan bonitas como estas, pero sí me gustaría preguntarle cuál es vamos a decir así, cuando están haciendo las alfombras, los vecinos, los amigos, ¿cuál es el espíritu que hay ahí, Jaime, cuando ya viene la gente a ayudar y todos están ahí desvelándose y haciendo esa alfombra?
Pues sí, es algo muy bonito, ¿va? Porque hay veces que tenemos tiempo de no vernos con las personas, entonces es tiempo que uno comparte con ellos y que ha tenido uno un año específicamente no verlo, ¿verdad? Y es algo muy alegre porque uno comparte con ellos esos momentos y la verdad se siente uno emocionado, ¿va? De ver la gente que lo apoya a uno y ver uno cómo va quedando el tapete, poco a poco y la satisfacción que uno tiene, ¿verdad? Porque, por ejemplo, gracias a Dios, aquí es algo así familiar, ¿verdad? Entonces, participan, así que mi esposa, mis hijos, mi hija que me apoya aquí bastante también, mis hermanos y todos, es algo muy bonito, más todas las personas que vienen. Entonces, es bien satisfactorio estar aquí como en estos tiempos, ¿verdad? De que es de las alfombras, pues muy bonito aquí en Guatemala.
Muchas gracias. Vamos a tratar de estar transmitiendo también y observando sobre la realización de la alfombra que nos está contando acá Jaime, Jueves Santo, a las 9 de la noche. De acuerdo, vamos a tratar de tener esas imágenes para ustedes y a ver si también nosotros participamos, ponemos nuestro granito de arena, si usted nos enseña qué hacer.
Para mí es un gusto y un honor que estén aquí con nosotros y ya se llevan ustedes la experiencia ahí de compartir con nosotros el momento de elaborar la alfombra, que es algo muy bonito y así van viendo ustedes cómo es el inicio, ¿verdad? De un pequeño cuadrito a cuando se extiende hay una gran alfombra, ¿verdad?
Excelente. Una pregunta, por ejemplo, ¿cuánto tiempo le lleva a usted o al equipo elaborar el acerrín, los colores y el costo de esta alfombra de 30 metros por 4?
Fíjese que más o menos, por ejemplo, para la preparación del acerrín, sí lo tenemos que hacer como unos 3, 4 días antes o sea, como lunes santo empezamos a hacer este proceso, porque para que el acerrín esté húmedo. Entonces, así como, por ejemplo, ver el clima, ¿verdad? Porque si hay mucho viento también no lo podemos tener tan seco porque no se vuela. O sea, sí ver factores que puedan ser posible que nos afecten. Pero sí el día 4 días tenemos para hacer el teñido. Y ahora con la situación de los moldes, y ya ese sí llevamos un proceso como de 2 meses la preparación del diseño, ¿verdad?
Y más o menos un costo aproximado, porque esto es una cuestión que ustedes ustedes donan, vamos a decirlo así, a la comunidad. Pero el costo aproximado de este tipo de alfombras.
Fíjese que nosotros puramente de materiales más o menos gastamos como unos 2,500 quetzales aproximadamente, solo en lo que es materiales, ¿verdad? Porque ya la mano de obra y todo eso, pues nosotros ya es voluntariado, sí. Pero más o menos entre 2,500, 3,000 sería más o menos de todo lo que son materiales.
De acuerdo. Ajá. Pues le agradecemos mucho, Jaime, por su participación. Estamos muy emocionados, muy contentos y esperamos pues ver la alfombra. Vamos a tener esas imágenes para ustedes y solo quisiera preguntarle si tiene algo que compartir con nuestros hermanos que están en Boston, en el área latinoamericana, que nos están viendo y que desde acá, Guatemala, estamos transmitiendo. Si les quiere usted brindar algún saludo en especial, especialmente ahora en Semana Santa.
Bueno, pues un saludo de aquí de Guatemala y que este espíritu de nuestro Señor Jesucristo que estamos teniendo inspirados en esta Semana Santa, pues que compartir con ellos y transmitirles de que el amor de Jesús esté con todos nosotros, ¿verdad? Y pedir por la paz del mundo, ¿verdad? Que es algo, lo principal, se puede decir, de la misión ahorita de esta Cuaresma y Semana Santa. Y de enseñarles a ellos de las tradiciones, la cultura, de todo lo de aquí de Guatemala y especialmente de la Antigua, ¿verdad? Para que tengan ellos un recuerdo de cómo es las tradiciones aquí en Guatemala, y a nuestros hermanos guatemaltecos, ¿verdad? Que pues para que ellos tengan un recordatorio de lo que cuando estuvieron aquí en Guatemala, cómo es volver a vivir esto de las alfombras aquí en Guatemala, ¿verdad?
Muchas gracias por su participación, Jaime.
A ustedes también gracias por la visita y vernos tomado en cuenta para esta entrevista, y gracias por haber estado aquí con nosotros.
Muchas gracias. Gracias, pues como ustedes bien saben, estamos transmitiendo directamente desde la Antigua Guatemala. Vamos a tener también entrevistas con sacerdotes, cucuruchos y otras personas para aprender también sobre esa tradición. Y esperamos estar presentes para la elaboración de la alfombra acá en Antigua Guatemala. Y recuerde, usted está viendo Colores Latinos, y si quiere participar nos puede escribir a coloreslatinostv@yahoo.com. También nos puede sintonizar en el canal de YouTube, Colores Latinos TV, y nos puede seguir en Facebook, Colores Latinos TV Show. Muchas gracias y hasta luego.
Recuerdo de cómo quedaría plasmado aquí el molde de donde tenemos colores latinos. Entonces, seguimos aquí con el proceso. Vamos a empezar la elaboración de una demostración de una pequeña alfombra. Entonces vamos a poner el molde para poder hacer el cuadro y que nos salga cabal con el fondo que necesitamos del color para poder hacer el molde. Entonces, ya teniendo aquí la medida, vamos a echar el color que le llamamos nosotros fondo, y entonces poder
Ahorita los sirve.
Ajá, correcto. Entonces ahorita vamos a hacer el proceso de cernido para poder echar el fondo. Aquí ya hemos terminado de aplicar el fondo en el marco, y entonces vamos a poner nuevamente el molde de colores latinos para
cubriendo los espacios.
Aquí vamos cubriendo los espacios para que ya quede el color ya en el...
¿Cuánto necesitan en libras de acerrín para la alfombra que hacen el jueves, Jaime?
Nosotros hacemos aproximadamente, necesitamos son aproximadamente 14 quintales,
14 quintales
de serrín. Ajá. Entonces vamos a hacer el levantado del molde para...
Okay. Oh, wow. Qué belleza.
Aquí ya es el producto final, ¿verdad? Entonces lo que ya conlleva cuando uno está haciendo una alfombra es que ya le tiene que ir decorando las orillas. Eso se puede decir es un centro.